Top of it, Team Coach E, and it's time for you to leverage your life. Now, your life is your business. And if you're not living the life that you desire and deserve, it's because you're not minding your business. And if you're not minding your business, it might be because you do not know what your business is. And if that's the case, it's okay. You are in the right place. Now, there's a rapper by the name of Rick Ross. And in one of his videos or interviews, he said he used to wear fake jewelry. It wasn't real. It wasn't real Rolexes. It wasn't real diamonds. It was just all fugazi ass shit. Now, a lot of people might look at that like, oh, nigga, you was lying to us that whole time. You was lying, man. These rappers is fake. And a lot of people know that rappers use the process of faking it till you make it. But what y'all don't understand is that faking it till you make it is actually an accurate application of spiritual principles. And I'm going to get into that right now. Now, we all know the saying, you're nobody until you're somebody. And we know what that means. You ain't popping until you popping. You're not popular until you popular. People only fuck with people that's popular, and until you popular, they're not going to fuck with you. No matter how good your product is, no matter how good at what you do is. If you're not popping, ain't nobody checking for you. But my question is, in that situation is, at what point do you become the somebody that everybody can fuck with? How do you cross over? If you're nobody to you somebody, how do you become somebody so that other people can fuck with you? It's like an impossible task to accomplish because nobody wants to fuck with you until they feel that you're worthy of being fucked with. What I came to the conclusion of is that you become somebody when you're able to convince others of what you have already convinced yourself. See, life is about convincing you and convincing others. It's first about convincing you that you are who you say you are. And then secondly, it's about convincing others that you are who you say you are. The thing about convincing others and why they don't fuck with you till you poppin' is because others, people outside of you, people who don't know you, don't have any proof that you are who you saying you are. All they have is your claim. And just like in court, you have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt that your claim is true with evidence. And you don't have no evidence. You can believe you're a millionaire, but if you don't have the millionaire lifestyle, if you don't have the car, the home, if you don't have the watches, if you don't have anything that shows the people that you are, the people are going to look at you like you crazy. But remember, you have to convince yourself before you can convince anybody else. You even have to convince yourself before you have the physical evidence of what it is that you want. It's like a person told me one time, you can't wait to be rich to be rich. What does that mean? I can't wait to get $1 million to learn how to manage $1 million. The only way I'm going to get $1 million is if I learn how to manage 100. And when I learn how to manage 100, then I can learn how to manage 1,000. And the same way I manage that 1,000, I will manage that 100,000. And the same way I manage that, I will manage that million. So everything comes in stages, but you have to initiate the habits and the lifestyle of the person you want to be before you become it. So now this takes me back to the spiritual principle of faking it till you make it and why it's an important principle to activate. You see, Rick Ross was wearing fake jewelry, but now he's the owner of the $1 million Jacob watch. Did it work? You damn right it worked. You didn't know it was fake. And because you didn't know, you believed. You believed in him, and that reinforced his belief in himself. And that's what kept him going. And he was able to accomplish that which he convinced himself of because he was able to convince you. Now you might say, well, he lied to us to convince us, and that's not cool. That's trickery. But to me, I only believe it's a lie when you don't have the intent to actually live the reality. We all have to convince people of things that don't exist presently. That can be perceived as a lie. If a lie is based upon the fact that you don't have it now, then we're all lying. When you're a small business and you're looking for investors and you're telling them, come on, put this money into my business. I'm going to take this business to the next level. You don't have no physical proof of how you're going to take that business to the next level. So because you don't have any physical proof, is that considered lying? No, you're only lying if you take the investor's money and never have no intent of scaling the business. But if you have every intent of scaling the business to the level you want to get to, then you're going to do whatever you can to convince them to give you the money. And in the Rick Ross situation and in like most rapper situation, they know they superstars. They're convinced of their greatness, but you're not. Because the principle is you're nobody till you're somebody. So what I have to do is I have to convince you that I am somebody now. Even if I have to tell what may be perceived as a lie now to your mind. Because you're not convinced. And I know I have to convince you. Because I have to convince you to buy into what I've already convinced myself of. So again, it's not a lie unless you have no intent on carrying out that which you are attempting to convince people of. If I have a business and I want investors because I want to scale this business and I'm showing them what this business can do, but I have no proof if that's a guarantee that they can do it, all I can do is try to mitigate the risk or mitigate the risk you think you're taking. But if I'm actually going out there and doing the work to show you that I'm going to make this a reality, even though it's not a reality presently, then I'm not lying. I'm attempting to convince you of a future truth. But if I take your investment money with no intent of scaling this business, but just to get your money right now, then I'm lying. Okay? And so how do we know if a person is lying or not? We don't. That's where the risk comes in. When we believe the rapper, when we believe the individual, when somebody like Muhammad Ali says, I'm going to knock him out in the third round, when we believe that, we're taking a risk. But we're taking a risk based on somebody showing us and convincing us that they may have the possibility or a high probability of actually accomplishing what they say they're going to do. So fuck what everybody say. They're not going to believe you anyway. They're going to wait till you pop in to jump on board anyway. So fuck them. If you believe it now, do it now. If you got to rent that Bentley and act like it's yours to put yourself in that mind space, do that shit. If you got to go fly first class, if you even got to charter a private jet just to feel like one day you're going to have one, to put yourself in that mental space, do it. And fuck what these people say, because guess what? They going to say you faking it now, and they not going to fuck with you until you make it anyway. They ain't going to fuck with you anyway. So why worry about what they doing anyway? Convince yourself first, and then you can convince the whole fucking world.